Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Jen. What were you saying?
Oh no, CLF. I said I did play that for tomorrow. It didn't do a big move yet because it's pre-market tomorrow. So if you could look at that for me, that would be great.
CLF is not a high beta stock. That is
No,
not
not.
a, yeah,
Yeah.
it is not a play that you want to be, before market or something like that.
What's earnings tomorrow? Pre-market
It
for
is
it.
not a high beta stock, so
Yeah.
even though you have earnings, it might move like $1 or so. But yeah, let's see how that plays out. Maybe if the earnings are good, you might get 30.51. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it moved like 49 cents after market. So let's see what it does, I guess, pre-market. But
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let's see how things work out. All right. What you boy, girl. All right, let's jump into things. Today was an awesome day, to put it mildly. Actually, it was glorious. Why was it glorious? Because where is this the one? There. So this is the reason it was a glorious day today. So during charting, this was our base case. The mean on the daily was the base case, 44.96. Hit that, cleared that, and we said this would be nice to have 45.13. Most likely it will, get rejected around this number, 45.20. But it got here, it got rejected from here. We were looking for a push down from here, or at least a breather. Came back down when this broke here, right through the mean. We were starting to look for that 44.70 range, and that hit. And once that cleared, 44.50, this was the next number. That cleared, it came right back down, and this, and then this. And I thought it would stop right here. And I was looking for this bounce around here. Did not stop. Pierced right through it and went all the way here. So yeah, I opened my SPY or SPX short and Apple short, and that thing pushed all the way down. I'm still holding Apple short. I got out of SPX short. Um, so what next? 43.93. We closed below that 4400 level, which is definitely not good. So what's next? So this is what I'm eyeing for tomorrow. And again, weekly, this is showing up as a red week, and this is showing up as a green week so far. And this is regular candles. These are Heikonaishi candles. And in a minute, we will see SPY, and we'll see why it bounced there and why it was not a good bounce. So I'm sure you've heard me saying last week and saying that it did not bounce off of the correct level here. So this to the downside, this was still intact. You've heard me saying that many, many, many times. And during last week, it bounced off of no good levels, and it has to come back and check that. So most likely tomorrow, this is my base case to the downside, 43.65. Not a major push down, probably 30 points, so very doable. That's on the regular candles, and on the high Kanashi side of things, 43.60. Again, not too terrible. 60 points, give or take. Yeah, we'll take that. And if that breaks, 43.55. Right now, I'm not plotting anything below this. 43.55 is where I'm stopping. We'll see what happens after 43.55. If there is room to the downside, we will figure out how far that can push down. But for now, not looking. 42.93 is where the next stop is. For now, not looking for that. Yeah, 42.98. Not looking for that as of where things stand. So that is a good 100 points to the downside. Not really looking for that. Right now, I'm pricing in about the 60 to 65, 30 to 35 points to the downside. We'll figure out what happens after that. 43.66. Yeah, if this number breaks to the downside, which is about here, 43.57 or something like that, if this breaks, then we are looking for a push into this number, 42.32, and most likely here, 43.25. Not don't really want to price this in as of today. As of now, where things stand, I don't really want to price that in. But tomorrow morning, things might be different. VIX might be running high for whatever reason. 10-year could be hitting three. There are plenty of variables going on right now. So if that push comes to shove, this is where it should push down 43.42, and this one 43.27. So one more time, the base case to the downside is right here, the 50 SMA on the weekly. Should that break, then the daily super trend one, then the daily super trend two. So that's what I'm watching for tomorrow. To the upside, again, the mean is still intact as the upside cap. Why is the mean super important? Because it is combined with 200 moving average here. So that is why it is super important. For that to happen, there is a lot of resistance right in the middle. The first thing, this is what needs to happen, 44.13. And this will act as, this is where you'll start seeing the friction. 44.13 area. This will be again. This will act as some sort of super resistance here. The 50 being quite the powerful moving average. And if that clears, then this will act as resistance. Then this will act as resistance. And this will act as resistance. So we got a ways to go. And again, if VIX dies, or rather, if VIX takes a breather, which it is primed to do that. VIX is primed to take a breather, at least on the lower time frame. So we know this how this thing works. Goes all the way up, gets overbought, leaves its five, comes right back into its five, breaks its five, hits it eight, and pushes into its mean. Right. So we don't want to see that. If you are short the markets, you don't want to see that. And this is what is happening. And if it comes down here, it needs to go into its 5, 2240, then push into its 200, then 8, then 200. This is 100, then 200 is here. 2176 should act as some sort of a resistance. And if that clears and VIX starts to push down, that's when we'll see the rally again. Uh, well, yeah, if it breaks below its 200, then I think VIX will start pushing down. Yeah. VIX is doing this weird dance here. So, VIX is saying that I have upside. In till yesterday or a couple of days back, VIX was pretty beat down, and today it's starting to show signs of life. And also, then you have moving averages starting to push up on VIX. So let's see how far it goes to the upside. If the journey continues to the upside, this is where it should hit first, 2396, and the 50 is here, 25, and this is where the super trend is lying, 2645. Not really looking for that right now, as of where things stand. Not really looking for that until there's some weird news that is coming out of um, uh, I don't know, some Fed activity, or some I don't know, whatever it is, or the interest rates are pushing higher, violently higher, or to the downside. Then that might actually trigger the VIX to the upside. Beyond that, I'm not looking for VIX to kind of do anything wacky here. And this is the number. Obviously, everybody's watching. This is the main chart right now. I am pretty sure majority of the market participants are watching this chart, and they are looking at how it is moving. And everybody knows that this will continue to the upside. The only thing that the only thing that is uh, that people might be watching right now is the pace at which this chart moves or these candles moves. The if it picks up pace, then that means the market will take a hit, either to the upside or to the downside, whichever way. If it moves violently to the downside, you can see industrials taking a hit. If it moves violently to the upside, you can see tech taking a hit. So either ways, it's win-win as long as you know how to play this thing. Well, Tesla today died. Don't want to really get into that. Facebook, we fucking knew this thing was coming down, and yet I couldn't take advantage of this. Uh, well, and I got caught up in a weird situation with Facebook. I sold puts at 197.50 strike. So it started to push down. I did not realize that there was Snap earnings today. And the expectation from Snap was to miss and push down. And Snap pushed, but it did not push down. The price did not push down. It missed on the earnings, but the price did not push down. Well, let's see. Tomorrow is another day. So what I did to mitigate the situation from my 197 put position, what I did is I sold a bunch of calls here from all the way from 200 to I think 210 or something like that, or 27. So 207, from 200 to 207, I have sold calls here, and also I have sold puts around 185, 186 area. So not 186, 176 area. So I have dug myself pretty deep into this situation. So now, unless Facebook closes here, right here at 198, between 198 to 200. So this is a narrow range that Facebook needs to close for me to be absolutely profitable. If it closes above 200, I'll be negative on my trade, but not by a lot. Uh, and if it closes below 202, I'll still come out looking good on this trade, but not as good as I would have been below 200. And if it closes below 197.50, that is still okay. I'll just take a position on that trade and I'll move on. Probably I'll sell the position for probably a small bit of profit or small bit of loss, but I would still collect all this premium that I've sold here and also here. So that's I know I kind of boxed myself in within that 198 to 200 range now. So let's see how that plays out. And even if it closes below 197, and not too far below, if it closes 197 around or even 195, that is still a good situation. I'll simply take the assignment, and probably next week it will run up into the earnings and I'll get out with profits. So that's the plan, 195 to 200 for Facebook. If not, you will find me pretty upset tomorrow. Just a word of caution. Okay. Now, this trade, Tesla trade, this was an awesome trade. I went short twice on Tesla, did not hold all the way through. So just wanted to show you guys. Make Hulk angry. Yeah, tomorrow might be a tense day. Okay, where is Tesla 1 hour chart? All right, so Tesla, we knew this bump was happening yesterday after earnings, whatnot. We knew this was going to go hit 1048, right about here. And I knew all the story. 1040, it was clear 1040, then it would hit that 1060 number. I was prepared for this number to get hit, and probably I would have gone short here, but it was earnings, so I just waited for it to go hit this number, 1090. and I did not see this thing going beyond that. So, and why did I not see that? Because Apple was. So this is how you exactly trade. Uh, let's pull up another chart. So why is Apple that important? And this is where the markets actually changed from an uptrending market to a downtrending market, right here. And I vividly remember calling this out in the chat, saying that Apple 4 hour is going to get hit, and Apple should take a breather here. But I was not really expecting it to actually start coming down here. My expectation was for it to probably hit this number and start to push back up and go back into, what's the number I was looking for? Yeah, this was the number I was looking for. The 200 moving average on the hourly. So this is the number I was expecting it to hit and then push down, but that did not happen. And I would have gone short right here. I would have gone short, but I did not go short right here simply because I thought that it's going to take a breather and come back up and push into this number around 170, 170. And that's what I wrote in the chat. But that did not happen. I saw it slipping down around 170, 120. This is where I got short. This is where exactly I got short, 170, 120, right about here. So took a short. It had to come back in. It spiked around here for no good reason, and we knew it was going to come back down, and it started to push down. And after it cleared this point, it was on autopilot then, because we knew it was going to go hit this. So exactly that's what happened with this. And that's when I was saying that when Apple starts to push down, I will go short Tesla. And exactly that's what I did. Went short Tesla. Look at the charts, similar charts. Right? Went short Tesla around 1083 or something around here. And that was a good trade. I exited Tesla somewhere around here. 1063 was the first exit, then again took that trade. It came back down into this number and pushed up, and again caught it here around 1063 or something, rode it all the way down and exited around 1045. Did not wait for it to go down actually. Well, we knew it was going to go down, but uh, this line actually here, the money flow index, when it started to push, right about around here. So that's the reason I said that's okay. We got what we wanted, and let's get out of this. And the better or the easier manageable position was Apple, so I held on to this position. It was a great trade today. Great. And let's pull up 1 hour chart for this. This is getting slow. X, same exact trend, right? And SPX actually pushed down farther, a little deeper. And I did not exit this trade because I kind of saw this thing pushing down into its super trend. So that's the reason I held on to this trade. I let go of Tesla trade and I did not let go of SPX trade. So pretty decent all around. Managed to the upside, managed to the downside, pretty decent trade. And the other trade was this one, Microsoft. We knew it was going to go hit that 293 number. How did we know that? Where is Microsoft? Come on out. There. Right here. We knew it was going to go hit this number, 293. And it hit that number to a T, went short, and I think 291 or something around 290.30, somewhere around that. I got out. I put that trade again, and I think I got out again, and then played to the upside. Made quite a bit on that. Again, it hit 287 or 288. Got out of that trade, Uh, I didn't go short there. And towards the end of the day, took another trade to the upside. Didn't really work out the way I wanted it to work out. So now what next? For so this is all happened. So what next? What I'm seeing right now here is a green doji, and here it is not forming a doji, but in fact, I don't know what this is called, but this is pretty bearish. So I am expecting a run up into the earnings, but I don't really know how to play this today, right? I don't really know because we wanted this number to happen. This number happened, and it not stopped there. It not stopped there. It not stopped here. I don't know why it stopped there. Maybe we can look for another data point. Yeah, so it stopped right there. And if it can push back up here, if it can push back up, which looks like it will push back up into its 5 to 8160, and most likely into its 8 to 8268. And it should find a breather around here. First, it should get rejected somewhere around here to 8260, whatever this number is. Then after that, if it can push around 283.65, this should stop it right here. Uh, and I think we will reassess the situation right about here to 82.68. And if Apple also can come back into its range here, but Apple has a room to the downside. It definitely has room to the downside. It hasn't been fully sold, oversold yet. So I'm expecting a bit of push down into Apple. But right now, here it should bounce off of this number and perhaps push into 166.74 and then probably into this 166.97. So give or take 167. Notice that 8 below 20, 8 below 21 has happened here. That is never good. 8 below 21 has happened, and that is followed by a giant red candle. That is never good. But we'll still keep an eye on that. Technicals are technicals. Perhaps it will push into this number, and will push into 167.45. Then, if you're long, take an exit around this number. Mean is simply even not. Yeah, mean is not even at 168. So even though if it can push into its 1 hour mean, which is sitting at 167.98, let's round that up at 168. So I don't see it beyond that. I definitely don't see it beyond that as of where things stand. Uh, it will change. Yeah, why not? Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow could be a different story. Might change. Look how close that came to the mean. Um, should have happened. This number should have hit, but it ran into resistance. Where is that? 4 hour chart. Right here, it ran into resistance and came back down. Uh, did not perfectly fit into the plan of hitting either the mean or the 200, but it is what it is. It got pushed down, so it got pushed down. Uh, this would have been a good spot for it to take a breather. 170, 170 uh, did not happen. This would have been a great spot for it to take a breather. So it did not test the mean. It got it did not even stop within the Bollinger Bands, inner Bollinger Bands. It took completely outside of that, and it actually pushed below the mean. It's stopping right here for now. So expecting it to bounce a bit, not much. Then we'll reassess the situation probably around 167.97 around that. Uh, I don't really think there's a reason for it to reach back to the mean unless that BIX comes back down, or there's some news out of Fed. And mind you that today was the last day when we would hear from a Fed speaker. Mr. Powell spoke today, and before there are no more Fed speakers till the FOMC next month. I don't know what date is FOMC, perhaps in the first week sometime, May first week. Till that time, there are no Fed speakers anymore. So keep that in mind. Right. Uh, so this is again an hour by hour play now. There's no long term charting for this. Hour by hour. Now let's see Tesla. Tesla, if it, I was looking for 975 to go back and test this number. Did not happen. It hit the first standard deviation and stopped there. My expectation is for Tesla to actually come back down, test this number, and if the market, if the market is coming back down, I would expect Tesla to test this 970 to 975 range. This needs to get tested. If that breaks, this is where Tesla is headed, 933, and it's been a while that it's been there. The super trend is waiting, and this will act as some sort of again a solid support. It has taken its support quite a few times here, one, two, three, four, five, 6 times. So I'm expecting again, if it comes down, it will be a good support here. After this support area, we'll reassess the situation to the downside. To the upside, this remains intact. The upside base case 1043, the mean daily mean, it remains intact. And again, to the if to good to have is 1050 or 1060, and again this should act as absolute top, this line here, 1080 or whatnot. I don't see it pushing into the second standard deviation just yet, 1130. uh, yeah, I don't see it just yet. Maybe next week we will reassess that situation as well. Okay, that's Tesla. So downside 974, 970, 970 to 975 is the base case. To the upside 1040 to 1045, which is the mean on the daily. That's the base case to the upside. What else? Yeah, this thing. So this is pretty much an indicator. Okay, this it did its job basically. It went in all the way, to cleared the mean, pushed to the upper Bollinger Band, came right back down. So this did its job. I would have expected it to actually continue its push up into 44, whatever that probably. Wow, technicals are coming down, so that's what is happening here. Okay, it took a slacking here around 4,300 or 43,000. It took a slacking and came right back down. So let's see. Let's chart this thing. Uh, uh, wow, this is a big range here. And now what? So this is a doji, is still intact with its five. Not seeing a whole lot of downside as of now. So it should go back and test this one standard deviation again around 39,830, whatever this number is, and look for a hit of this number and probably push back up into its five. And the I'm still waiting on this crossover here. On the MACD side of things, I'm still waiting for a crossover here. If we find a crossover, I believe it will bring in some position traders here, and I'm still in the camp that thinks that money should flow into crypto and stocks, uh, simply because that tax season is done, and that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is that bonds are selling off, so that money needs to be parked somewhere. So most likely that would be and because the housing will get a bit expensive here because of interest rates, so I'm expecting the money to come back into either crypto or stocks, or maybe crypto and stocks, both. So high quality names will be the choice of investment here. Something like a Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. Facebook is out of flavor. Netflix is out of flavor. Uh, so you have these big names. Perhaps those are the ones that people will start to pile into. So let's look for that. Amazon's earnings next week. I wanted to, so 28. When is 28? Let's quickly check that. Next Thursday. I wanted to get involved. I wanted to sell puts down here at 29 around here, uh, 2900 puts. A very nice premium. Uh, but because of earnings, if the volatility gets stretched, and that might again be a bad situation for me. So did not get involved, and I will be looking to play Amazon, just like I played Tesla. Play for IV, play for the volatility, and probably I'll wait till like maybe Wednesday, or even maybe I'll take a position on Tuesday evening, somewhere around that. So just to see the volatility expand both sides, Jen, calls and puts. So this is not a earnings play, but simply the play on volatility. So just like Facebook, right? So some of the calls that I took, or some of the calls and puts, specifically puts, some of the puts that I took, they went about what 1,200%. 845 put, I bought it for about 54 cents or something. That went close to $6, or perhaps breached those $6. So that was a close to 1,200% trade. And the other trade I took on the day of earnings, a little later in the afternoon, was 820 puts, I guess, or 830 puts. That went 100%. Then I took 690 puts, just like just for the heck of it, just to see how options react to IB, and that also went 100%. So that was crazy. But yeah, I am expecting the same sort of mania with Amazon as well. Not so much Google, but with Amazon. So not price and play. Nope. Yep. Strictly IV. Get in before earnings, capture that IV, and get out before the IV crush. And if you so if you can capture, maybe a 500 percenter, then you can sell that and use those profits to actually play the earnings. So that's another idea there. So if you buy two, then you sell one for profits and use the other one for to cover whatever the IV crush you're expecting the next day. That's how I want to play that. Um, so that's the case with Amazon, and I'm expecting Amazon to continue to push down at least till earnings, and it should run up into the earnings. So with Amazon, this is what is happening right now, and expecting this thing to come back into. Don't think 27 it would do, but at least about here 2,900, and we'll reassess the situation around here 2,900. So I might get involved tomorrow. I might sell some puts here, or I might even sell some calls here. So that is just to close out the week, because they would go worthless. So I want to capture that premium. And probably I'll look into buying options somewhere closer to the date. So maybe Wednesday evening, somewhere around that time. Would you be posting Amazon? Yep, yep, I would be. Okay, and it is not for the weak of the heart. So yeah, you might you might want to play that with a bit of caution. Right. So let's. Anybody watching any stock in particular? No punk bitch. Square. Oh yeah, yesterday you were looking for Square. How did that go? Oh boy, it came right into that number. Right into that number. Wow, I missed that. Not too well. Why? We were looking for this push down, right? And it did exactly as it was expected to do. Oh man. Burn. Well, next time. Next time. 11 broke. Nice, nice, nice. It came back down. This is the monthly chart. Let's look at the weekly chart. No, well, we're still. When are the earnings? Any idea? Oh, right here. 5th May. Yeah. So I think it should continue its push down. I think here into this number and probably here into this number 93 something. This would be a good trade to the upside to catch when it turns. Uh, Verizon. I scalped it but gave some back on the bounce after hit 107. Yep, yep, yep. It was supposed to hit 107. And then look at the range all the way from about 120, just like Facebook. All the way from 120, it came right back into where it was supposed to come into. That would have been amazing trade. And I yesterday night we were charting for this trade, and unfortunately, I did not take that trade. I was trading Microsoft, so yeah. Verizon. Let's look at Verizon. Easy, easy. All right, this makes sense. This makes total sense. And well, the expectation from Verizon and likes is that because of rising interest rates environment, this should because they pay a dividend. This is a dividend play basically, and I don't know what how much is the dividend. 4.7%, right? So 4.7%. So the idea here is that generally when the yields rise, the 10-year would pay you, if not 4.7, the 10-year is currently paying close to 3%. So that is a much better deal when compared to, a bond is a much better deal when compared to a stock. If the bond is paying similar or somewhere close to that coupon or the dividend. So the expectation is from Verizon and stuff like that is to come back down. However, Verizon is the best run company out there. T-Mobile is noise, and they kind of get customers and whatnot. And what's his name? John Legere. I forgot his name. That CEO, when he took over, it totally changed that whole freaking company. It was a distant third, competitor in U.S. Markets. So yeah, all right. So I think it will test this number again. Most likely, right now it is taking a breather out of after touching that. It will hit this number most likely again, and there is enough ammo for it to push into this number 55.97. This is a slow mover, so you need to be patient with this kind of stuff. And if it clears this, there's a good enough chance hitting at 56.48. So keep a watch on this. Breather is pretty much guaranteed here. It is hitting the weekly super trend. So watch for that. It failed here one more before and is hitting that number again. So watch for that. That is why higher time frames are always important. Left at 5, and most likely, a breather is pretty much in the cards for Verizon. Yeah, it is hitting into all sort of resistances. But if it so 55.66, if it hits that number, then take a breather. Then if it comes back up again and hits that number, then we're looking for a push into 56.60. and that's how it's gonna pan out. And this MACD here, MACD is looking pretty decent. If MACD crossover happens, then we are looking for a continued push up. And this is the monthly chart. Monthly chart is looking good for Verizon. Cool thing. And Visa. My expectation from Visa and AXP and the other, others was continue Discover, Visa, American Express, Mastercard, simply because according to the credit card reports from Chase and Bank of America and others, they say that the consumer spending is up, in fact, and the consumer is looking to be in good shape. So that's the reason I was looking for AXP. We were charting, I think, with Ed. I don't remember, but yeah, we were looking for a clear upside on AXP and Visa. Maybe Hutch, I don't remember, but yeah, pretty much this number is still intact to the upside, 221. 221 is still intact to the upside, but don't take it that way. Right now, where things stand, so according to this, uh, if it can come down here into 215, whatever this number is, it did come down into that and bounced off of that number. And if this bounce continues, right now it stopped at the 21. If this bounce continues tomorrow into 218.97, look for a breather here before it starts to push up again. But if it can't, look for a push down. If it breaks this number again, the 50, look for a push into 214.90 and then into 213.86. Right now, I'm not charting beyond that, but here is where this is intact. If it comes below here, you can clearly look for a shot to the upside. That's how I want to play Visa. First, it was to sell 100 put, but scared away from market going right hard. Not put, not put. You're supposed to sell calls, not puts. When the market is going down, you sell calls. Looking if you're looking for a passive play. So when the market goes down, you simply sell calls, and that's how you want to take advantage of that situation. So you can be bearish on any stock in three ways: sell calls, that's one, you bearish, or short the stock itself, then you're bearish, or buy puts, then you're bearish. Those are three ways that you can be bearish on a stock. Did you play? Yep, still holding with a loss. Oh, you got your put, call, playing earnings. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, and you know, I was having a well. Let's stop this thing here because right now it doesn't make sense to actually plot anything right now because last thing before we stop. Futures. Futures. I didn't take a look at futures. So futures came into this number, and this was the case to the downside. We were making a case for this to come down into this line to the downside. It did happen. It actually, I thought I thought it was gonna bounce off of this number. It did take an ephemeral bounce, but then it came right back in and it caved. So now, what's gonna happen if it doesn't bounce here? And Apple is in the same boat, by the way. If it doesn't bounce here, then we are looking for a good bit of downside, 4,300. Am I pricing that in now? No, I am not. I am not pricing in that right now. So maybe we are looking for 4350, maybe 4350. That's a number we could look for the downside, but not really pricing in this number here, 42, whatever this number is. We'll look for that when it happens, but for now, no, not pricing that in. 4349 is 4350 is what you can price in right now. Futures on the weekly, look, futures already hitting that number, and I don't know who was asking me about while I was saying that SPY 435 is pretty much there, or it is that number is still intact. They did not believe me, I guess. I don't know why, but yeah, futures are already hitting that number. Expecting SPX to come back down and hit that number as well. And the futures on the 1 hour bounce. Right, so everybody knows this stuff. We all seen this. We all know this. It will need to come back into its five, back into its eight. If the push continues, if there's enough ammo, then 44, 45 is still intact. And yeah, so this scenario we will figure out tomorrow by in a couple of hours. I'm expecting it to hit this number, 43.90, whatever this number is, and probably let's figure out how it works out there. Yep, and it is detached here, so it needs to complete this push up, or either this thing needs to come back down, or this thing needs to push up. Around 4,400 looks like a pretty decent number for that to happen. So let's see how this works. All right, that is pretty much it from my end. Uh, and Yeah, and one other conversation that I had with somebody is, this is sort of. So that person, was demotivated. I don't know, demotivated is the right word or not, but disheartened, maybe disheartened, uh, because they were not making progress and whatnot. So uh, just to showing up is half the battle. Okay? Showing up is half the battle. Right now I have like what, 5 to 6 people or maybe 8 people listening to this or watching the charting session. I am not disheartened. It doesn't bother me a bit. I just show up, I do what I'm supposed to do. That is it. That is all there is to it. Consistency is the key. Keep showing up, keep doing, keep putting in that work, keep taking your trades, keep grinding, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it will, damn well it will click. Damn well it will click. That's just how things work. Showing up is half the battle won. Right. So Jen showing up with a banger after hiatus. All right, so let's stop the recording around here, and let's do this thing tomorrow again.